Hi class, so today we're going to be talking about another type of fraction. We've already discussed two types of fractions in class, one of which is called proper fractions. Now proper fractions, if you guys can remember, is when the numerator, the number on top, is smaller than the denominator. So for example, 3 is smaller than 4. So in this case, proper fractions, the numerator is a smaller number than the denominator. Which is going to be our larger number. Now, as you can tell, it doesn't matter the size of the actual fraction. For instance, we have 121 over 200 in this fraction. Is 121 still smaller than 200? Yeah. So it's still considered a proper fraction. Now the other fractions that we've talked about are mixed fractions. One thing that's kind of important to remember about mixed fractions is the fact that it has a whole number involved in it as well. So this is 2 and 1/3. And how we would show that is if we had 2 whole pizzas that were cut in thirds, and then another pizza that was cut in thirds. We had this entire pizza here is 1, then this pizza here is 2, and then 1/3 of this pizza here is our 1/3. Same goes with our 3 and 3/4 and 1 and 1/2. Now, the final fraction that we are going to be talking about involves a little bit of our mixed numbers. And you'll see why in a minute. These are called improper fractions. Improper fractions have a numerator and a denominator, just like any other fraction. But what makes them special is that instead of having the numerator being the smaller number, we are actually going to have the denominator being the smaller number. And the numerator is going to be our larger number. So does anybody think that they know what an improper fraction would look like? Well, for instance, the fraction 8/5 is an improper fraction. Because if you notice, the 8 is our larger number, and the 5 is our smaller number. Can anybody see something that's really interesting about improper fractions and proper fractions? Well, let me show you. We talked a little bit about the reciprocal, right? Now the reciprocal of a fraction is when you take the numerator and the denominator and you flip them. So if we wanted to find the proper fraction of 8/5, do you think we could just make the reciprocal? Let's see. The reciprocal, if we put 8 and we put it on the bottom, we put it on the denominator, we take the 5 and put it in the numerator, that's a proper fraction. So improper and proper fractions are reciprocals of one another, which is really cool. So I was telling you a little bit earlier about how mixed fractions and improper fractions actually go together. This is how. So if we have the mixed fraction 1 1/2, we know that the 1 is also equal to 2/2, right? Because that equals a whole. If we take the 1 and add it to our 1/2, just like this, we get 3/2. Now, let's see this. If we have one pizza, it was cut in half. We've got another pizza, and that one was cut in half too. And we eat 1 1/2 pizzas. Here's one with 1/2 here and 1/2 here, making 2 halves, and 1/2 here. That equals our 1 1/2, right? Now let's look at it as an improper fraction. We have 2 halves right here. 1/2, 2/2. We have another half here. 1/2 equals 3/2. Isn't that awesome? Let's try again. Let's say I have 3 2/5. Okay? Let's draw this time first. Let's go squares this time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So we have our 1, 2, and 3, right? Oops, we need another square for our 2/5. So we get 1 here and 1 here. Awesome. So we have our 3 wholes and our 2/5 here. Now let's break it down. We've got 5/5 right here, right? And 5/5 here. 5/5 here. And 2/5 here. Does anybody think we can make an improper fraction from this information? You're right, we can. We have 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5, which is our 3 wholes and our 2/5. 5 plus 5 is what? 10. Very good. Plus another 5. So we have 10 plus 5. That's 15. Very good. And then we're going to add 15 plus 2, 17. Very good. Now, do we add the denominators together? No, that's right. So, 17/5 is equal to 3 2/5. All right, one more. Now I want you guys to practice this on your own with a drawing. 8 and 5, 6. All right, I want you guys to pause the video just so you guys can try and figure this out on your own. Use a visual as well to help you. Okay, so 8/5 is also equal to 6/6 plus 6/6 plus 6/6, etc., etc., etc. till we get to 8, right? But that's kind of crazy looking, right? Well, here is something really cool that we can do. What is 6 times 8? 48. Awesome. Good answer. Now, we have 48 sixths plus 5/6. Isn't 8 times 6, having 48 here, the same thing as saying this, only easier? Yeah. So, 48 plus 5 is, very good, 53. So, that is basically our improper fractions lesson. Dang it.